But the Senate Majority Leader, Arlan Meekhof, the Republican from West Olive, is taking time to be with us when he probably should be on the phone trying to marshal up some votes. He's got people doing that for him, too, I would think, though. Senator, welcome back to the program.
Good morning, Michael Patrick.
If I'm a state senator, which I will never be, and you called me up and said, okay, here's the deal, here's what I've got for you, can you summarize it for the rest of us so that we can understand?
Sure. I think the package we're proposing is a combination of reductions and redirection of funds and new revenue, and I think that's what the voters told us on the failed proposal that was there. And I believe, listening to folks in my district and other places, that Michigan residents want a solution. They don't like the fact that they're probably going to have to pay more, but our infrastructure is in a place where we have to do that. And it's simple, straightforward, and will help solve our state's crumbling infrastructure issues.
Let's talk about our part as the voters here. That's you too, but I mean the rest of us. We're going to pay more at the pump through a gas tax, yes?
The proposal simply says it's a nickel more for 3 years and then index it to the rate of inflation, and after 15 years it actually sunsets. And then a future legislature has to talk about, is taxing fuel the right way to fund our roads?
Okay, so as much as the gas prices fluctuate anyway, it'd be pretty tough to imagine that a nickel would be a big deal at the pump, right?
Well, it's a big deal to a lot of people as well. It's a big deal to most of our families, so we don't do it without careful consideration and lots of thoughtful and lengthy discussion to find a way that addresses this issue. And I think also, for those of us who are conservative, really looks at the scope and size of government and says if there's revenue growth beyond the rate of inflation, that should go to an income tax rollback. And if that's that money that people participate with in the economy and help it grow, they should be the beneficiaries of have the rewards of that.
Isn't that where you run into the problems getting votes, though? The Dr. No's, if you will, in the legislature who just want to be able to go back to their district and say, it's a tax increase, it's a fee, I voted no, vote for me for re-election. Isn't it that simple?
I suppose that's as simple as it is. You also can go back to your constituents and say, for 17 years this problem hasn't been solved, and I wore the big boy pants. I came to town, figured out how to get this done, and do I like all the pieces of it? No, probably not, but I as a leader, cast a vote to fix this problem.
Okay, let's move over then to the existing funds, the general fund that you're going to make cuts in order to pay for the roads. Who suffers in those?
Well, that'll be through the appropriations process. It's not just cuts, it's redirected revenue as well, revenue we're already getting, and we'll put that into roads as well. I'm pretty sure that the citizens said, look within your budget before you ask us for more money, and so we're doing that.
It's tough to tell the very poor that they're going to lose their earned income tax credit, and not only that, it's tough to ask legislators to vote for that. Is that some sort of perhaps just a bargaining chip that's been floated out there? Do you imagine a scenario under which that could be preserved and yet we could still get the road funding?
Well, it's part of the House plan that's sent over, so there's a group on the other side of the Capitol thinks it might be a good idea as well, and we had long discussions on that yesterday. At this point, it's part of the plan.
If you could remove it, if you could preserve it somehow, would you?
That would be up to my caucus. We had some very lengthy discussions about it yesterday and probably will again today.
How much collaboration goes on between you and House Speaker Kevin Cotter?
We've talked very frequently and have been in touch often during the last couple of weeks while this plan has been formulated. And according to his statements yesterday, I didn't get to talk to him yesterday, but he released a statement. He's very supportive.
Is there any version of this that has nearly passed or was considered in the past? I mean, what's new under the sun, I guess I would say?
I think the newest part is the income tax rollback, and that I believe is recognizing the citizens of Michigan who participate in the economy, that they should reap the rewards of that growing economy.
So in one sense, we're going to pay a little more at the pump, but save elsewhere?
Well, yeah, potentially.
With the rollback?
If the rate of inflation, if there's more revenue that comes to the state, more than the rate of inflation, that over and above revenue will go to the income tax rollback.
Okay, let's go insider a little bit here and talk about the votes. You need 20, or I guess you need 19, right along with the lieutenant governor. Can you get them today? Will there be a vote today?
That is the goal, to try to get the vote today, and 20 is the goal.
And have you done a count? You must have by now, right?
We've been, again, lots of discussions over the last several days with the caucus, and again this morning. we're doing very, very well.
Those who are on the fence or those who are pliable, what do you need to do? What do you need to say? What's the most convincing argument?
That you came to town and solved this issue that nobody's been able to solve for 17 years.
Are you getting any Democratic support at all?
Senator Annick and I and a number of members have been meeting and discussing different opportunities for them to participate, and it's going very, very well.
Interesting. Okay, so I guess we'll keep our eye across the street there and appreciate you explaining that in simple terms. The good news is when you go back to West Olive, you'll be able to say what?
I'll be able to say that when the caucus met together and found a way to solve this structural issue, or the issues with our infrastructure, we are also found a way to keep the size and scope of government in check.
Have you been in touch with the governor at all?
Yeah, talk to the governor regularly, and he's supportive as well.
He is. Okay. Very interesting. It would be nice to talk about something else once in a while, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I don't relish it very often when I'm talking or if I'm at the bank or I'm at the gas station. That's when I usually get talked to. Hey, what are you doing about my gas?
Yeah.
But it would be nice to talk about something else. This is such a great state and such a beautiful state, and we're enjoying the great weather that we have for Michigan. The days like yesterday and today are reasons why we put up with February and March so we can live here at this time of year.
And it'd be nice to drive on smooth, safe, paved roads, if you will. Is Mike Kowal being a little bit dramatic when he says we're one bridge collapse away from a tragedy?
Possibly, but I think if you look at infrastructure failures that have happened in other states, it causes people to have a reactionary type of thing and try to fix something and maybe not think it through. And I think over the last several weeks when we've met as a caucus, we've thought this thing through, been very deliberate, and I think that bodes well for good public policy.
Okay, thank you very much. We'll keep in very close touch. That's Arlan Meekhof, the Senate Majority Leader.